everybody, welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up. Thank you for joining us again, and this time we have another exclusive or special, very special segment. We have the number one pick in Major League Rugby's 2021 draft by the Dallas Jackals in the form of Eric Naposki. And Eric, am I saying your last name correctly?
Well, my full name is Eric Naposki-Abdalah. That's my stepdad's last name.
Okay, so now that we got your name right, let's get down to the brass tacks. You're a UCLA guy. How did that happen?
UCLA applications or their decisions come back kind of late anyways. So I was pretty much set on going to Penn State, and then got into UCLA, and it was a no-brainer for me.
So Penn State was an almost. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Connecticut originally.
So wintering on the coast of Southern California was a little bit more appealing for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, and a little bit more about that pathway. You played for the Falcons, which is part of Team USA Sevens program. You played for the Ramblin' Jesters in Sevens. That's the touring side owned by David Barry, who owns the Jesters, and he owns part of the New England Free Jacks, and he owns 4 Barry boys, 3 of which you know from UCLA Rugby, and 1 who's now going down to San Diego. But you did kind of fall off the radar and had to kind of reinvent yourself, coming back as a number 9. Is that accurate?
Yeah. 9 was my original position growing up. And then I put on like a decent amount of size and felt it was better just to move into the back 3 and just like be in space when I play. And as opposed to being like a distributor at 9. 2
great tournaments back-to-back for you. National Club Sevens in Seattle at Starfire Stadium, and then RugbyTown USA, which is spectacular for RugbyTown Sevens. What did you like about each tournament? What did you take away from each tournament?
Well, Nationals, like I've been living with the Old Blue Boys out in New York all summer, and it's been a great time. And I've got to go back to Connecticut as well, link up with some old friends. So, yeah, that whole experience was great. I know our coach, Dom
Waring.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite coaches. So, yeah, I had a great time with Old Blue. And then, unfortunately, on the last day of Nationals, I tweaked my back. So I was dealing with back spasms all week. And RugbyTown.
Yeah, and it certainly didn't get any easier at the RugbyTown Sevens. There was some serious talent there. There was the Samurai, who were basically the Blitzbach of South Africa Sevens. You had Germany, which is now becoming a force in rugby. You had the Houston SaberCats entered as the SaberCats, and a sprinkling of Major League Rugby talent throughout the entire tournament. That's not to mention all the other teams that had top quality. It was by no means any vacation for you.
No, it was not the tournament that I wanted to play, even slightly injured.
So it's been a couple of tough weeks for you rugby-wise, but in a good way.
Yeah, it has. But, there's ups and downs in this game.
And one of those ups is getting drafted number 1 by the Dallas Jackals in the 2021 draft.
Yeah, that was good. But, the competitive spirit, I would have liked to have a better tournament. In both circumstances, honestly, with Nationals and RugbyTown.
And you were originally going to be playing with the Ramblin' Jesters, but Team USA's under-23s staff reached out to the Jesters, and as is the case with rugby, they said sure, because playing for your national team is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been with the Jesters the past couple of tournaments, and I was obviously looking forward to playing with them. But once I got the call from the U23s, David is always super understanding about that stuff. And if you get the chance to play for your country, he's cool with it.
All right, Eric, just hold that thought 1 second. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
Been blind since I was 4. And I've never seen a beer commercial or a beer label. None of that stuff influences me. I drink beer because of the taste. And my beer is Pabst Blue Ribbon. It has the taste and the flavor.
What do you think's on the label?
I think there's a naked woman riding on a unicorn, jumping over fire. Oh, that's good beer.
Okay, let's get to Major League Rugby because you made it. You're the number one pick. You're in Dallas Jackals. And, you know, aside from the negotiations and your contract that are yet to take place about your electric Hummer, your entourage, and your generational wealth, I'm just kidding. I know that. But, you know, someday, where do you see yourself lining up? Do you see yourself at 9? Do you see yourself in the back 3?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm pretty flexible with all that. And whatever role I have to fill when I go into Dallas, that's what I'll do. Both options are great. I guess if I'm in the back 3, I'd like to be a 15. But, yeah, no problem playing 9.
It's good to be flexible, have that flexibility drop from 9 to 15. That's a great thing. It's an asset for a club. Let me give you some of the words from your UCLA coach, Dave Clancy. Eric is an exciting talent with the ability to beat defenders one-on-one. You don't often see that. He's got great feet and acceleration and will be a threat to defenses for years to come as he grows in a professional environment and develops his game. I think based on what I've been told by other coaches, your best bet might be number 9, and that is echoed by your coach, Clancy, and here are his thoughts on that. I think he has a higher ceiling there. That's my opinion. Look at Christian Rodriguez, Mike Baska, et cetera. The modern winger is a different animal than it was, and him as a 9, he could be an Eagle. That's some pretty high praise.
Yeah, I mean, I only got Dave for a couple of games, but he's been a massive help the whole time. And, yeah, he's a great coach, great guy. And, yeah, I wish I could have played more games under him.
And he didn't have you for that many games because of COVID. And how much did COVID suck in particular for you?
It was the worst possible situation ever. Like basically taking a year and a half of college away.
And you were a little bit bummed out about not getting drafted last year, but that would have been coming off what? Your junior year, right?
My junior year. So I just joined it just to do it. And I wasn't sure if a team was going to reserve my rights for the following year because I had 1 year of college left as well. So, I mean, I knew why I didn't get picked last year. It's because it's kind of tough to pick someone and not have them for an entire year.
You know, it's pretty cool to see this thing taken off actually at Major League Rugby and at the second draft, which makes you part of history. And you've got guys that you've played against in the MLR already or get drafted. And it's just a cool thing. But how is a kid from Connecticut going to deal with the heat of Dallas?
I'm fully acclimated to warm weather. I actually do not want to experience another winter. So I'm pretty excited to be in a place with good weather.
Dallas is doable. It's livable even in its hottest times. And when I'm up here freezing in the winter, I'll be living vicariously through you in Dallas. But question for you. Was there an overseas or domestic rugby star player that you looked up to or tried to emulate?
I was working with the Giltinis a small amount. You know, they've got their development team out here. So, you know, yeah, those guys have been great. I don't think there's a specific player, but being around that whole group of guys and just being with guys that have over 100 caps in their professional career, it's pretty special. And they're good guys as well. Like, they'll come up to you and introduce themselves and you know well who they are, but it's cool to be in that environment and it's cool to learn from those guys.
Well, how about How about before Major League Rugby? Was there a player or a star overseas that you said, I'd like to be like that guy?
Yeah, I mean, like Quade Cooper's probably the number one guy that I've watched his highlights since I was a little kid. And yeah, and just the way he plays and the stepping and all the stuff he does is just like my style of play. So that's definitely one guy.
I saw some of that stuffing the last couple of weeks at those tournaments, but does that step slow you down when you do that hop skip thing?
At times it can. When you play injured, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, it's a case of the brain saying one thing and the body saying another.
Exactly. My mind was moving at 100 miles an hour and my body was not following. So
when you headed to Dallas?
We don't have to be down there until January. I'm not sure if I'll move out there sooner or what, but yeah, it could be back in New York potentially with Old Blue for the 15 season.
All right, my friend. On that note, we are out of time, and I hope to see you in New York with Old Blue this fall. And I hope you feel better. I know that you're not feeling well. You're under the weather, and you came on here banged up to boot. But we appreciate it. So on behalf of Mr. Eric Naposki-Abdalah, I'm Matt McCarthy for Rugby Wrap Up. Thank you for tuning in, and please check out our special segments, including the RugbyTown Sevens segment and the RugbyTown crossover segment, along with our normal segments, including the Rugby Odds, featuring WWE Hall of Famer John Bradshaw Layfield, the world's best sports bettor ever in the Philly Godfather, and Rugby's Gift, Gift A. Bailu, our Major League Rugby show, Martial Law, the Zack Attack, and please sign up for our Rugby Wrap Up Red Cross Blood Donor Team.